that produced a living legend in music, Bob Dylan.
That's actually the home that Bob Dylan lived in until he was 6 years old. And coincidentally, our super collector lives just down the street with a collection of 1,000 pieces of Dylan memorabilia.
So don't go away. Personal FX is up next.
Where else are you going to learn about Swarovski crystal, and Bob Dylan in the same show? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Personal FX, the collectible show. Got a really interesting story out in Duluth, Minnesota, where JD is visiting with today's super collector. And JD, I would have to say that today you are truly knocking on heaven's door, yes?
Yes, knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. We're in Duluth, the birthplace of Bob Dylan. So I think it's significant that we have John Bushy here, who is an avid Bob Dylan fan and collector, as well as you have a weekly radio show that is about Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I do a radio show on a local public radio station, KUMD 103.3 FM. I play 1 hour a week of Bob Dylan music and a lot of obscure things from early in his career. I play miscellaneous material of people that covered his songs. I play material of those that he influenced and those that influenced him.
Wow. And you also have an awesome Bob Dylan collection, which, as we know, John, there's not a lot of Bob Dylan memorabilia out there.
Yeah.
Because he never was mass marketed.
Right.
So you have to go with a lot of paper material, a lot of albums in that. And this is a very significant album. Tell us about this.
Yeah, this was Bob Dylan's first album, recorded in November of '61, released in early 1962. There were only 5,000 pressed. They didn't know if he was going to be a hit or not.
Mm-hmm. And this is a demo copy, as you can see.
Yes, this is the first pressing of the album. Many of Dylan's albums had multiple pressings, and this is the first pressing. We know that from the label. It has 6 Columbia eyes.
Wow. And John, that's just the tip of the iceberg. And when we come back, John's going to show us some more of his Bob Dylan memorabilia.
Bob Dylan is amazing. I think just this year he was nominated for the Nobel Prize in Literature, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, John?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, he's still going strong. All right, we'll check in with the two of you guys later on. Thanks a lot.
All right, John.
That should be exceptional, don't you think, Claire?
I absolutely do, John. And we have 2 exceptional appraisers with us today. Jerry Harrelson, wearing a very nice vintage jacket, I presume.
Yes, 1940s, 1950s.
And Susie Anderson, good to see you. Now, you even watch the show when you're not here, right?
Occasionally.
And yesterday, what happened?
Yesterday I found out we both have pieces of Fire King, but I own the $400 mixing bowl.
Ooh, that is a nice thing, a nice discovery. Let me introduce you to our first guest who have an item of praise. Hi, Kathleen.
Hi, how you doing,
Nice
Claire?
to have you with us.
Good.
Kathleen told me right before the show that as a result of the show, you go running around your house?
Yes, I constantly run around the house looking to see what I have that you say that I come back, and then I miss pieces of the show. But anyway, I still enjoy the show tremendously.
Did you find this running around the house?
No, this was my son's.
Please
I've
pass
had
it along. You bought it for your son, or your son
No,
just
my
had
son
it?
got it from his grandmother when he was little, and
Okay.
I've kept it all these years. It does work.
Good for you for
Yes,
keeping
yeah.
it.
Well, as a radio, it's collectible, but as Mickey Mouse or Walt Disney, it's more collectible. Time frame wise, I'm more partial to the earlier period of Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse, but still quite collectible today.
Yeah, I like the later stuff. As a matter of fact, this one is like a mid stuff, because what's happening now, like the mall I was just at, Jefferson Valley, and many of the other malls around have these huge Disney stores. So lots of things are becoming available for Disney collectors.
Can you find
this
these?
predates that. This is 1970s, in good condition, good color on Mickey Mouse, wonderful characters all around the dial. It's a radio, it's a clock, and everything still works.
But can you still find it?
Of course you can
Yeah,
still find it, but
pretty
not
easily.
frequently, not
Okay.
often, and not in such good condition. The plastic gets dented, all that kind of bad stuff. And it sells for about $125 up, depending on the market that you're in.
Exactly right. I'm going to agree with you on
Okay,
that.
we have complete agreement.
See, I do too.
Do you agree to put it up for sale, or do you
Yes.
discuss this with your son?
No, no, no. I never discuss anything with my son. No,
Little
no.
will he know what happened to the clock he
No,
got.
no. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
She's putting the clock up for sale. If you're interested in buying, our bid number is 212-802-0082. And coming in next is Bob. Hi, Bob.
Hi, how are
nice
you?
to have you with us.
Nice to be here.
That was your wife we just met?
Yes.
Okay, what did you bring to be appraised?
Oh, I have a cameo that was my mother-in-law's.
Oh, did she know anything about it, or do you?
No, Kathy tells me it's been in the family for about 70 years, and we've had it in a drawer. And you know, Kathy watches the show. She just told you, so we wanted
Well,
to
let's
bring
find
it down
out
and
if
have
it's
it
70
appraised.
years or more old.
Yeah.
Your time frame is about correct.
Is that right?
It is marked 14 karat gold on the clasp, and the clasp tells me it's not from the Victorian period, it's from the early 20th century, maybe the 20s, somewhere in there. As Jerry can point out, it also has the addition of the flip-up pendant. You can put it on a gold chain or a ribbon if you wanted to wear it that way. And it is a shell cameo. Anything else you wanted to add to it?
And it's quite beautifully
Yeah,
carved.
it's beautifully done.
I put it in the neighborhood of about $350 to $400.
Great.
Yeah, I agree. It's exceptionally nice.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, and what collectors look for is the intricacy of the design
Right.
and what it's made of.
Yes.
It's the
And
shell.
the fact that it's gold, not silver, and the frame is very nicely done.
Well, now that you know, is it going to stay in the family or be put up
No,
for sale?
I think we'll take some bids, Claire.
Take some bids and see? Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much for being with
Thank
us
you.
today. And Patricia's joining us next. Hi, Patricia.
Hi.
Good to have you with us. Please hold on to that carefully. I'm getting nervous. No. No wonder to drop it. Hi.
Hi.
Good to have you here.
Glad
And
to
tell
be
us
here.
about what you brought.
This is a Nippon vase. It's about 8 double handles. It's about 18 inches tall. I don't know anything.
Where'd you
about
get it? Pass it along.
Where do you think? Broomfield.
Broomfield.
wow.
Oh, did you get some good buys at Broomfield?
Some.
Some.
Brimfield's like every place else. You have to
Brimfield.
know what you're buying and
Yes,
shop very carefully. This is Nippon. As we know, that means Japan in the Japanese language. And usually that mark was used from like 1890s to like 1920 or so. And then they had to
Add the
place
word.
made in Japan or Japan on it.
Yeah.
Now, what's unusual about this is called a lake scene, as a matter of fact. But what's unusual about this? I don't know if you can get a
Yes, I can see it on the monitor.
mark. That looks like a partial label to me. It's not complete.
And if you put your finger over the glazed bottom, you'll find that somebody took a tool and took the glazing off of that square and applied that mark. I agree that it's Nippon, but I think it's a later piece that probably said Japan or made in Japan, and someone was trying to make it look older. I would.
Boy, is that something to look for. when
I
you-
would
yes.
think. Now, if you look up here at top at the decoration, you'll see very deep oranges and not the intricacy of the jewel work on the earlier pieces. I will make you a bet that this piece is from the 1930s and 40s, and somebody played with the mark.
I'm curious, do you remember when you were at Brimfield how much you paid for it?
I think about $50. I
Oh,
don't know.
you did fine.
You did fine.
You know,
Even
I
for
don't
that
know, but
period,
I think
it's
it's
still
about
quite a nice
$50.
piece. They were trying to make it look like an earlier piece, but it's still a lovely piece in the $200, $250 range.
So at
Right.
50, nobody got ripped off here.
No,
She did very
she's
well.
fine. She's
very
fine.
well.
Got her.
Now that you know what it's worth, what would you like to do?
Put it up for sale.
Okay. Thank you so much for visiting with us today. An interesting piece, John.
And like you said, Claire, that is definitely something to look out for, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm always learning from the appraisers.
Always learning. Something else to look out for, stamps. October is National Stamp Collecting Month, and that is the subject of today's Collector's Update. All right, the U.S. Postal Service has just released these stamps just in time for, as you can see, Halloween. They're classic movie monsters, but they come with a 90s twist. If you look carefully, we've got some classic monsters on here, but you don't get the whole story when you look at them. What you need is one of these. You need a decoder, and you put it up to the stamp, and you see something extra. As a matter of fact, let me give you some examples right here. You see Frankenstein? Well, take a look right above his head there. On the left side, you see a lightning bolt. That's something you see with the decoder only. Here's some other examples. Take a look here at Dracula. Dracula's got some bats around his collar there that you can't see just looking at it with the naked eye. And one of my favorites here is the Wolfman. And if you can look real close, you see the holograms, you see the wolves. And that is something that makes these stamps so much fun. Now, the decoder costs $4.95, and you can get it from the U.S. Postal Service's Philatelic Center. So call your your local postal service, and they will tell you where exactly that is and how to get this. So as far as stamps go,
And John, who knows what the decoder will be worth one day?
Exactly. You never know with this thing. You never know what else you can pick up. Yeah, very interesting. So that's something to look out for. Well, stay with us, folks. When Personal FX returns, we have a lot of great stuff coming your way, including some incredible appraisals. What is the history behind these items and what are they worth? We're going to find out here in the apartment. And also in Duluth, Minnesota, we have some great items that are to be appraised. So stay with us. A lot of fun coming your way.
A killer from the past returns to start a whole new generation of terror. The X-Files, tonight at 8, 7 Central on FX.
My doctor said I didn't need surgery for my hemorrhoids, and to use Preparation H. For my problem, Preparation H is so effective. It helps relieve all these symptoms. Yet it's so gentle, it soothes and protects. More people trust doctor-recommended Preparation H.
How do I keep things fresh every day? And not spend my life doing laundry? I switched to Bounce.
Bounce has unbeatable freshness, time-released slowly to help things stay fresh day after day.
For freshness that stays up to 5 days, turn to Bounce.
Moo, 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 moo. What's everybody mooing about? Milk and cookies! The adorable counting and memory skills game. You take a cookie and dunk it. If the cow moves, you found milk. And you get the cookie. When the cowbell rings, how'd you do that? Everybody hides their cookies. So you gotta remember who has the most. Because you get to switch. Excellent incentive for a child's memory development. Milk and cookies! From Parker Brothers.
Television stations need you. Medical companies need you. Computer companies need you. If you know electronics, top companies need you today. To develop the electronics skills employers are looking for, call ITT Technical Institute at 1-800-942-0099 for an informative brochure. That's 1-800-942-0099. But call now. Because aeronautics companies need you. Automobile companies need you. Robotics companies need you.
Who is the type of personality who doesn't do well with new partners.
His attitude's all wrong. How you doing, this type of thing. He asked you how you were doing?
Yeah. It was handled in such a way to show that Jimmy Smith's character was as good, if not a better man, than his predecessor.
And now Bobby Simone is everything to Andy.
NYPD Blue, 5 nights a week on FX.
Oh, it is that time for the last roundup. You know, there are items that don't get bids by the end of the show. So what happens to those items? Well, that's particularly true of the mailbag segment. Our phone lines and fax lines stay open for another half hour to ensure that you have time for us to receive bids on those items. Now, let's tell you about some mailbag items. Judy from Corona, California, had sent us a photo of an RKO movie distribution catalog. And our ace appraisers, Ron Norris and Rich Zalachowski, said it was worth $25 to $50. Well, Benson from Seattle, Washington, wants it for $100, and he's thinking about it. And then we spoke on the telephone line to Pam from Tacoma, Washington. Pam, you'll recall, had that very interesting Santa and reindeer wooden cutouts that were appraised at $200 to $400. Richard from Baker City, Oregon, wants to pay $535 for them. And in the meantime, Pam is thinking about it. And John, I have a feeling Richard is thinking not only about a white Christmas, but Santa on his lawn.
Gosh, that's something. That's something. That's interesting. That $500 for the Santa. That's good to know. All right, let's go out to Minnesota where Terry has joined us to have something appraised. All right, Terry, how you doing?
Fine, thank you.
What do you got there? What are you holding up?
Well, I have what is appears to be a sash belt made in the form of a banner that was probably commissioned by the Masons out of Superior, Wisconsin, because it reads right here, Lodge number 289. And I noticed that inside each of these sash beaded sashes are secret symbols of the Masons that are incorporated into the piece. And this is, of course, the Masonic symbol. I think it was a banner that was probably used in the lodge in Superior at the Itasca Lodge.
Interesting. What do you two think of that?
I think he's probably correct. It was probably mounted on the wall or in front of the head table at that time. They are very collectible. Fraternal things have always been collectible because there's a bit of secrecy involved with it, and people are always interested in that type of thing. The workmanship on this is absolutely gorgeous. Value-wise, I think it's going to surprise you. Jerry, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm sure it will, because pieces like this don't frequently come to the marketplace. If it belongs to a lodge, somebody keeps it going year after year, generation after generation, and they very rarely come to the marketplace.
So how old do we think this one is?
Now, this one's probably from the 1920s, 30s, at least from the colors of the beads and everything that I'm
the type
seeing.
of the beads, the size of the beads has a lot to do with it too.
Mhm.
It has like a dual kind of thing going for it because it's Native American work, bead work, and it is a Masonic piece. I'm going to say anywhere from $1,200 up for this piece. This is very unusual.
I think if it were put up at auction, it would start at $5 and end up in Jerry's price range.
I see. Jerry, what do you think? Do you want to take some bids on that? You want to hold on to it?
Well, yes, I'd be happy to entertain some bids. I do think that these are like original Indian trade beads that are hanging here.
We'll take some bids. We'll let you know. How are you holding up the other end of that? How does that work, the other end?
The producer's helping.
Oh, is he? Can we see that? I'd like to. All right. All right, we'll take some bids. We'll let you know, Terry. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, that number to call in case you want to place a bid is 212-802-0082. And Gloria has joined us. Hi, Gloria. How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Where are you from?
Kinnelon, New Jersey.
All righty, welcome, and tell us what you got here.
Well, I have brought in a lamp that I purchased 48 years ago, the year we were married. It has the original lampshade, and I have another one just like it at home.
Okay, got a matching set here.
Well, the lampshade is really in good condition. It probably was covered for a while, wasn't it? It looks like it's been cared for quite a bit. Usually they discolor. There's a little bit of discoloration in it from just from years of being around. The cord is very frayed, but that's easy to change and does not change the value of the lamp itself. This is a couple that was rather popular in that period of time, and they were bourgeois lamps, and everybody kind of liked them.
You said the couple is popular?
Yeah.
So, you mean you
It was a common motif.
It was a common motif.
For good, better, best, the tip is go straight to the hands and see if the fingers are separated. And you'll see on this one, they are not. It is made in one lump. So that is good plus. It's not a better or a best. That's where you go to grade it.
Interesting.
Quick tip.
And what about the cord, the fact that it's
It can be
frayed?
rewired.
That's not a big deal,
and in
right?
fact, they even make this kind of cord now for restorations. So that isn't a problem either, and it would not devalue it at all. Also, an appropriate shade, if you needed it, would not devalue it at all.
You say it's a popular motif. You don't mean these two characters, but characters like them?
Characters like them.
Very similar.
Right.
The man and the woman in the boudoir.
I see.
Pair of lamps normally start at about $125, and they could end at $200.
Yeah, I agree. About $125 to $150 for this pair.
Well, what do you think?
I'd like to sell it.
All right, we'll take bids and we'll let you know. Thank you for bringing those by. Appreciate that. Okay, up next is Dan. Hi, Dan, come on in. How's life?
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah, where are you from?
I'm from Bloomingdale, New Jersey.
Oh, welcome. What do you got here?
Well, I have a set of silver that I came across one night while driving around. Found it in a box outside someone's house with some other interesting items. And I have a full 84-piece set with 17 serving pieces.
No kidding.
Wow.
Sterling silver.
He found this in the garbage. It is sterling.
Gosh.
It is marked sterling. It is made by the Alvin Company, which is an American firm. It was later bought by Gorham, although they still produce sterling under the Alvin name. This is a 1940s pattern in that era of the 1940s. And what he has is place settings for 12, which is the fork, the knife, the little demi-tasse spoon, 2 soup spoons, and the teaspoon. You are missing the salad fork.
What's
That's
this
what
thing?
you are missing. That's a bone cutter.
A
for
bone
chicken.
cutter? Oh, all right.
And on those pieces, this part is stainless steel, which is very normal for that period of time. Now, I price it out a lot differently than other dealers or appraisers because I do deal in replacement sterling, and therefore, for the entire set, you get less than you do per piece.
Interesting. All right. Jerry, what do you think?
Yeah, we talked about it earlier about this set, and I'm a bit higher because I sell things in groups. For instance, I would sell the knife, the fork, the carving knife, the carving fork, and the sharpener. A set like this would sell for about $250.
Right. You can get more for it that way.
And then also certain things are just more valuable than others, like the demi-tasse spoons, you're always looking for those. The serving pieces, you're always looking for those.
All right, well,
so
now you
for
got...
me, this set is worth about $2,500.
Is it really? Wow.
And to me, as a dealer, I would retail it altogether for $1,590. I did the math before the show.
Why can't I have your luck? I don't know what. Do you want to take bids on it?
Oh, definitely. I need a new computer.
Well, that would do it right here.
there
Here's a
you
new
go.
computer. We'll let you know. Thank you for bringing that by.
Thank you.
Found it in the trash. Up to
There you
$2,500.
go.
Found it in the trash. Barbara is up next. Hi, Barbara. Come on in. How are you doing?
Fine, thanks.
Hey, this is really interesting too. What do you know about this? What is this?
It's a tea service.
Well,
and
this
I
is
got it from my in-laws.
From your in-laws. Okay.
This is what we call tea for one, or tea on the breakfast tray. That's how it comes up. And if you look at the bottom, it says made in Japan. So it's a later set.
And there are lots of them around. Frequently you find them in figural. They're little cats, little dogs. People like them very much. And they're also designed for tea for two if you have an extra cup that you can serve somebody. Because we've had this discussion with other people in the malls.
Right.
But you can share your tea for one with someone else.
Oh, wait. What is this here?
This is
the sugar bowl.
The sugar bowl.
Sugar
this is
bowl,
the
creamer. And
this
some
is
have
your
a cup that go with it. So you might be missing a cup for tea for one. The thing going for it is that although it's Japanese, made in Japan, it looks English and it looks like chintz. So that to decorators is important.
Right now, chintz is one of the hottest patterns going. I mean, it's just flying through the roof. So this would appeal to people on that level.
And only because it looks like chintz am I going to put a value of $125 on it.
I agree with you, Susie. Otherwise, it would be maybe $50 to $75.
You got it. Exactly.
That is all self-contained right there, isn't it?
Isn't it neat?
Yeah, that is. Do you want to take bids or do you want to hold on to it?
No, I'd like to take bids.
We'll do that for you. Thank you for bringing that by. Appreciate that. All right, let's go back out to Minnesota where JD is looking at some great Bob Dylan memorabilia. JD, what are you up to?
Hey, John, you know, as we know, Bob Dylan shuns publicity and a lot of the show business hype, but he has a knack for reinventing himself. He's just come back from a serious illness and rebounded from a near-fatal career slump to produce a new album that's getting a lot of critical acclaim. But over the years, a lot of other artists have done Dylan tributes. Look at this. This is Dwayne Eddy does Dylan. We have Odetta sings Dylan. We have the Hollies. Even the Metropolitan Pops does Dylan. But look at this. This is really funny. Sebastian Cabot. Mr. French from Family Affair doesn't sing Dylan, but he reads the lyrics of his songs. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. And the answer to what does a super collection of Bob Dylan memorabilia look like, we're going to find out when we come back on Personal FX.
I think my wife will like this.
I'm sorry, sir, but we're closing.
Yeah, but I just wanted to know it.
Why shop around someone else's schedule? With complete 24-hour service, Geico lets you buy car insurance anytime. Buy directly over the phone and you could save 15% or more. Geico Direct, a better way to buy car insurance.
Does this come in beige?
Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you. If you're young at heart, or as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheats. Good for you? Sure. But you really want the big sweet crunch that brings out the kid in you. If you are amongst the very young at heart.
New Downy brings you Downy Care. You get more than fluffy softness. Now it helps keep clothes looking like new.
Keep the new look of it. That's the way you love it. Only Downy does it.
New Downy cares for clothes in the rinse by protecting them from fading. Over time, it helps keep clothes looking like new. With the most fluffy softness of any leading brand.
A new look stays there with Downy Care. Keep the new look of it. Take the best care of it. Only Downy does it. Come on in.
And only Downy has the Downy Ball. Toss it in at the start and get the best fabric care ever. Downy Care.
You look awful.
I'm an irritated mess.
Try Visine. It gives eyes like yours 100% of what they need for fast relief.
Restored to all my natural glory.
Glory?
Visine gets the red out.
And the irritation, too.
Next time you're zapping through channels, watch GRTV for the finest products in personal development, housewares, fitness, health, and beauty. From Guthrie Ranker, the undisputed leaders in quality infomercial television programming for the last 10 years. Watch for GRTV Network. You'll be glad you did. It just might change your life.
It's amazing what some guys go through just to get an authentic NFL jersey. They should just watch the NFL Team Shop on QVC. Authentic NFL merchandise delivered right to your door. Pretty painless, really. But some guys never learn.
Honors Award in December with President Bill Clinton in attendance.
And that's for lifetime achievement. But we're
right.
honoring him here today. And John, what better way to honor somebody than with a super collection of all the memorabilia relating to him?
There is no better way to honor somebody like that. Let's go out to Duluth, Minnesota right now. JD, take it away.
Well, John Bushy's been honoring Bob Dylan by collecting his, and it's mainly ephemera. I mean, Bob, there's not a lot of hard memorabilia from Bob Dylan, right?
Like Elvis dolls, Beatles stuff, no. Bob, it was the records, news clippings, magazines, music books, things like that.
And you didn't really start out to be a Dylan collector, right?
No, I didn't. I just started off liking his music. I enjoyed the music, and I bought a record, and I bought another record, and
you
I
just
bought
kind of
record, and it exploded.
Now, if you look around us, these are articles mainly from local newspapers and magazines about Bob Dylan, and he's not supportive of the press. Is he supportive of the local press?
Oh, to a point. I mean, he's never granted, really, he granted one interview to a Duluth reporter over the years, and other than that, he's had a lot of interviews, and he did grant one to Hibbing.
Now, look at this. Tell us about this article here from October 18th, 1978.
Pam Coyle, a student at Hibbing High School, somehow got through to Bob Dylan, and she got a little interview for the high school paper. And she asked him, why did you grant us this interview? And he simply replied that everybody complains up there that, you know, I don't give them any press. Well, now they can stop complaining.
And Hibbing High School is the high school that Bob Dylan graduated from.
That's right.
Now, there have been a lot of Bob Dylan books written about him. Tell us about this one in particular.
This is one of my favorite pieces in the collection. Jessica Lange and Sam Shepard made a movie in Duluth called Far North, and Sam Shepard wrote a book. He toured with Dylan in 1975 and 76 on the Rolling Thunder Review Tour.
And this is the book written by Sam Shepard, and Jessica Lange borrowed this from you, right?
Yeah, she wanted to read the book, and I actually never thought I'd get it back. It came back about 6 months after they left town, and Sam Shepard had signed it across the fly page.
Wow. And then you took the idea of getting autographs from all the different people who were mentioned in the book and who were on the tour.
Yes, Dylan brought all of his old friends from the 60s, Bobby Newirth and Roger McGuinn of the Byrds and Joan Baez on tour. And sure enough, I've been trying to get all the signatures in the book, and I have about 10 signatures of people that were on tour, and I still have a few more to go.
Wow, and a number of Dylan signatures.
Yes, Bob and his ex-wife Sarah did sign the book as well. They're tipped in, and they're it's my prized possession.
Wow. I mean, this is obviously one of a kind. What do you think this is worth?
You know, to tell you the truth, I don't know. With all the autographs in there, I'm not really sure what it would. It was probably worth what someone would pay.
Wow. John and Claire, look at this. I like this. Oh no, not another Dylan book. That's the title of the book. Now you do have this. This is from that same tour that the book was written about.
Yeah, it's a Rolling Thunder Review belt buckle, and I was told that they were made especially for the crew members on the tour, as well as some of you know, the people in the band.
So
And
this
is a
wasn't
belt
sold
buckle.
to the audience members.
Right, that was not something that was commercially sold. It's a nice piece, and someone added the belt in and carved Bob Dylan's name in it and this and that. And
wow, do you remember wearing belts like this back in the 70s? And then over here you have some buttons and what you call bob cards.
yeah, I guess you know, there's not a lot of stuff, but occasionally at concerts they'll sell Dylan buttons and little pins, and occasionally a sticker, and they do have bob cards. And I guess my most unusual piece is I have something here that's unusual. It's not a button, it's a mirror.
If you turn it around,
It's a mirror.
It's a pocket mirror.
Yeah, and it's a photo from the cover of the Highway 61 Revisited.
Hey, John?
Wow. Where'd you get this?
I found it in an antique store.
Yes, John.
I wanted to ask John, did I see a photo of Hurricane Carter there on the table as well?
Yes, you did. It was a single. Bob Dylan released it was on the album Desire, and he released a single, Hurricane, who was a boxer, and that's the single.
Yeah, classic.
The picture sleeve for the 45.
I got you. Classic.
Good eye, John. Good eye. Now look up here. These are two original Dylan posters, and this one is significant.
Yeah, that's from '69. This is from '65. This is the original poster released with his documentary film by D.A. Pennebaker on Bob Dylan's 1965 English tour. It was the end of when he was going acoustic, and when he came back to the U.S. at the folk festival, he went electric. So this is a documentary film, and that's one of the original posters from that film.
And you said it's an interesting film, and it truly captures that segment of
Yes.
Dylan's life and where he was.
It's not just seeing Dylan in concert. It's a backstage look. What was happening in Bob Dylan? You see him at the typewriter. If you can still rent the film. You see him typing up lyrics to songs, writing songs right in the movie. So it's very interesting.
Very cool. Now look at this. This is a very unusual piece. This is one of Bob Dylan's many harmonicas. And tell us, how did you come to own this?
Well, this came through a family member to a friend of the family to me.
So you know it is, it was a Dylan harmonica.
Yes, it was. And you notice it has a little piece of tape with the letter C. That was for the key of C.
And you said many times he would slip in the wrong harmonica.
He's been known to do that on occasion in his career, slip in the wrong one, and it doesn't really sound as good as it should.
Now, he has the new album out, and you love it?
I think it's great, and from what I've heard, it's been getting great reviews everywhere.
Yeah.
And recently we thought that he was going to die, or he was very sick, and that put a big scare into Dylan fans, didn't it?
I think it did. I mean, I think it may even have put a big scare into Bob himself, but he's been touring non-stop since 1986, and all of a sudden he got sick, and people were wondering, well, is that it? You know, and no, he's going to be going back on tour later this month.
Okay, thank you very much, John.
Thank
you
you
for showing us your collection.
Hey, John, what do you think?
That's it, guys.
John, what do you think about Bob's son, Jacob? What do you think about his music? Do you enjoy that as well?
I enjoy it very much. I think he's great, and I'd love to see them in concert as well.
Yeah. And it's interesting that his son's first album sold more than any of Dylan's biggest selling albums.
No kidding. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Boy, you don't get to see this stuff every day. Thank you both very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
See ya.
Enjoyed that.
You wonder how the father and son would feel about performing together on the same stage.
I think they'd enjoy that.
Very, very special.
Absolutely.
And don't go away. We've got lots more coming up for you on Personal FX.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Lee Ralph, and you're watching Personal Effects, the Collectible Show.
I loved Home. Home, I think, is my favorite episode.
I really liked that one. It didn't scare me, but you had this family that was so malformed that they couldn't mate with any outsider, so they had increased their malformity over the years by inbreeding.
Whatever pain you may feel pain. It runs in the family.
And just the will to live and the will to propagate. It was very kind of moving to me.
To love. When you know your boy will do anything for his mother.
I approached it as a classic horror piece, and I think that really came off. I don't think it was really that these were mutant brothers who might have had an incestuous relationship with their mother. The thing that really scared people is their first fear in life, that there's something under the bed.
No, get out!
It's all right, man.
We're federal agents. We're here to help you.
But it was just a wonderful hour of television.
The X-Files, 5 days a week on FX.
Is your toothbrush working hard enough? Only Aquafresh Flex has this flexible neck to absorb pressure and help protect gums. Its new pivoting head helps clean hard-to-reach plaque. No brush cleans better. New Aquafresh Flex. Hard on plaque, soft on gums.
Sundown helps keep your health on track by constantly creating new dietary supplements. Sundown. Tomorrow's nutrition today.
On Mondays, the Wilsons always wore blue. On Tuesdays, they always played pinochle. And on Thursdays, they always ate Chef Boyardee ravioli. Until one Thursday, a can of Superiore ravioli accidentally dropped into Mrs. Wilson's bag. Superiore had a redder sauce, firmer pasta, and plumper ravioli. In fact, it's the taste people prefer. They love the taste so much they now eat it on Fridays wearing checks. Superiore from Franco-American. It's not what you're used to, it's better. Now available in family size.
I'm the best bleach.
I'm the best bleach.
I get rid of tough stains.
I get rid of tough stains.
I get rid of dingy gray film.
I get rid of dingy gray film too.
I brighten.
So do I. And I work on colors.
Say, how do you do that?
Clorox 2 Color Safe Bleach does what Clorox Bleach does on whites, but it's buffered to do it safely on colors.
Every color?
Red, blue, greens.
Clorox 2 Color Safe Bleach. The Clorox bleach for colors.
Throughout the year, Conroy's Flowers brighten so many days in so many ways. Every Conroy's arrangement comes with our long-lasting guarantee. Let us deliver the message that you care. Conroy's has the freshest flowers for every holiday, birthday, and special occasion. Our beautiful wedding packages start as low as $99.99. Conroy's Flowers in Alhambra, Temple City, Downey, and Glendale. All through the year. Nature makes them beautiful. Conroy's makes them last. Guaranteed.
Personal FX on the road every day, almost as much as Bob Dylan himself. The week of October 20th, we're going to be in Columbus, Ohio. And the week of October 27th, we're going to be in Reno, Nevada. And then the week of November 3rd, we're going to be in Seattle, Washington. We are looking for super collectors the week of November 3rd. If you're interested, give us a call at 1-800-FX-FX-FX1, and we'll take it from there.
Welcome back to Personal FX. And if you're interested in bidding on any of the items up for sale, we're going to remind you about what's up for sale right now. Let's start out with the Disney Clock Radio that was appraised at $125 and up. It does work. It's from the 1970s, and it's in good condition. We also have the Cameo pin. It is marked 14 karat gold. It is a shell cameo from the early part of the 20th century and appraised at $350 to $400. That's a nice beat playing today, huh? The Nippon vase appraised at $200 to $250 from the 30s or 40s. Now, there's a stamp on the bottom. It looks tampered with, according to our ace appraisers.
We're also getting bids on the beaded banner, and this was appraised at $500 to $1,200 from the 1920s to the 1930s. It's a dual motif, Masonic and Native American. We also have the lamp that is getting bids. We're going to appraise just this lamp. There is a pair, but we only have this one with us. So this was appraised at $75 to $100, boudoir or bedroom lamp, and that's about 50 years old. We've got the Sterling flatware appraised at $1,590 up to $2,500, made by the Alvin Company, Mark Sterling from the 1940s pattern. And we also have the tea service, and this was appraised at $125. Made in Japan, but looks like English chintz-ware, and it might be missing one cup, but that was appraised at $125.
John, if the person who threw out that flatware is watching, can you believe what you threw out? I mean, I can't believe somebody would throw it out.
Up to $2,500. Amazing.
So if you'd like to call on any of those items, our number is 212-802-0082. Let's go back out to Duluth, Minnesota, where Richard wants an appraisal. Hi, Richard. Good to have you with us.
Hello, Claire.
What would you like to be appraised?
I have a lamp that I purchased at an auction several years back. It has a metal label on it that is slightly ripped. It says Royal, and then it's got AEGER, designed by Royal Hickman. And it's in beautiful condition.
Let's appraise it for you.
Well, the missing letters are HA. It's Royal Hager. And that's very typical of his motifs in the 1940s, right there. In fact, that mark is from the 1940s. Very collectible to pottery collectors.
Very collectible to pottery collectors and also to lamp collectors and to people who have 40s motif.
Has a lot of style going for it.
What are those like? Scottish
They're
Terrier
dogs.
That's what, right?
They're dogs.
Yeah.
They're stylized dogs from the 1940s with a mottled glaze that is very difficult to do.
And condition looks pretty good.
Condition
really
looks
good.
great, especially with that original label still there. Again, it's a lamp. If it has to be rewired, there's no big problem. Any appropriate shade will not devalue it at all. I think in that period it probably had a dark color with it.
And probably a slantier shade. The shades were very stylized for his things, but like you said, any shade is acceptable.
Is it hard to find some of these shades of that time to put on?
Yes, it is hard to find some of the
But
shades.
more
Sometimes you
and
find the shades
more,
themselves.
The lamp makers are now getting to know that we need appropriate lampshades, and they're starting to make them right.
I'm glad. So what would you put as
Value-wise, in New York City, we could get $200 for that lamp.
Yeah, 125 to 150.
Up to $200. Would you like to put it up for sale?
Yes, I'd like to take some bids anyway.
Very good. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
All right, from Richard out in Minnesota to Richard here in the apartment. Richard, come on in, sir. How you doing?
Very good, very good.
Nice to see you. Where are you from?
Warwick, Rhode Island.
Welcome.
Originally from New Jersey.
What do you have here? What'd you bring?
I purchased this about a year ago up at Brimfield off a dealer that was from New York down here. I think it's Russian, but I'm not quite sure.
Now, why would you say that?
Because this dealer was out of Sheepshead Bay. He gave me a business card, and that day it was raining in Brimfield as usual, and I lost the card.
Ah, all right.
But there's nothing on it marked or otherwise to indicate that it would be Russian.
Nope.
And in a time frame, unless it's contemporary, it would be very rare because we weren't trading with Russia. And I honestly don't believe that it is Russian has any basis in fact. It is a cast metal rooster.
Yes, I think American. It's very typical. There are lots of hens and chickens and rooster collectors around. This is a really interesting piece in and of itself. It may one time have had some color on it. That may have been stripped, because they do that sometimes. If it was bronzed or colored and had started to go, they dip it and strip it. So now you're left with this very basic rooster. Quite nice.
Maybe a doorstop or just something decorative?
It could be used as a doorstop, but it's not basically a doorstop. It's just a decorative piece.
I
It's
think
quite nice.
perhaps in the 1940s, 50s, it might have been part of a lamp. I think it's a piece, a component part of something that has been stripped. Value-wise, under $50 the way it is right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. What do you think, Richard? Do you want to take bids on this? You want to hold on to it?
No, we'll take bids, see what happens.
All right, we'll see what happens. Thank you for bringing that by. Appreciate
Thank you. And we're going to go back out to Duluth, where see what Lynn would like to have appraised. Hi, Lynn. Good to have you with us.
Hi, Claire.
And what would you like to be appraised today?
I'd like to have this Sternal coffee machine appraised. It was a gift from an 80-year-old lady friend of mine. It was her parents' wedding gift. They were married in the early 1900s.
And is there any marking on it that we should know about?
There are several markings on it. There's a marking on the bottom of the pot, and the original glass also says that it's the Sternal coffee machine with a star after it.
It works very similar to a samovar.
Exactly.
The graphics on it are great. Even for a piece for decoration, even if this piece didn't work, I would not care.
Kitchen piece.
Right. The fact that it's copper and brass adds to it, because solid copper is very expensive these days. I think this is a great piece.
This is such an interesting piece. Look at the top. It's made like a bubble on the top.
Yeah, it's almost like a gumball machine up there, isn't it?
Yes.
You seen something like this before?
Not like this. Not entirely like this. I love its function and I love its graphics.
How much do you love it in terms of price?
About $300 worth.
$50 to $300, I think, would be a good price on this one. This is beautiful and probably still usable. This is wonderful to have if you entertain and you like to have a centerpiece. And this would keep your coffee warm for your guests.
And a conversation piece. Lynn, would you like to put it up for sale?
Sure, I'll entertain some offers.
Okay, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
And when we come back, we're going to be learning more about the history of Swarovski crystal and about the Swarovski Crystal Collecting Society. There are more than 350,000 members.
Weeknights on FX, the best primetime on cable. First at 8, they captured our imagination.
If it's not human, what is it?
And became a phenomenon. David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson starred in The X-Files. Then at 9, Dennis Franz, David Caruso, Jimmy Smits, Kim Delaney. The show that was nominated for over 50 Emmys, NYPD Blue. Weeknights, FX has the best primetime on cable. The X-Files and NYPD Blue. 5 nights a week.
You did it. You're quitting smoking. That's great. Now comes your first test.
This one's gonna be brutal, folks.
But you've got Nicoderm CQ, and CQ is better at calming the morning cravings that tempt you to reach for that first cigarette. You can wear CQ 24 hours if you crave a cigarette when you first wake up. And CQ is better than Nicotrol at calming morning cravings. Nicoderm CQ, the power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to quit successfully.
Welcome to Betty's Ocean View Diner. I'm Betty.
We work hard to make a good first impression. We've got to look our best all the time. If the waiters don't look clean, what are they going to think about the kitchen? One waiter in a stained shirt, and forget it. Our food makes really tough stains. Before, with the detergents we tried, we couldn't get this grease out. But now, with this new Tide with bleach alternative, I can really see a difference. It's got to be clean. It's got to be Tide. This is the best looking family on the block, and I'm proud of it. Thanks for coming.
To get a fresh mountain spring scent in your clothes, you could add mountain snow, wildflowers, or spring water to your wash. Or just wash them in new Mountain Spring Tide. The same great cleaning, now with a fresh mountain spring scent. Try new Mountain Spring Tide. Look for it along with regular Tide.
Want to add a little kick to dinner? Grab one of Progresso's new seasoned pasta soups with seasonings right in the pasta. For a taste that'll knock your socks off. The new seasoned pasta soups, only from Progresso.
Hey, Monica Brand here with a brand new beat from Beast Records.
Checking out the year's hottest jam. This is Sweat Mix Volumes 1 and 2.
These are two monster records, perfect for workouts and parties because the music is non-stop.
Sweat Mix Volumes 1 and 2, the year's hottest vibe.
Call 1-800-257-5700 now.
Take you back to a very special time.
Where have all the flowers gone? Long time.
So come and sing along.
I had a hammer in the morning.
The Time Life Treasury of Folk Music is not in stores, so please call now.
To order Treasury of Folk, call 1-800-731-1414 or send $19.99 for 2 cassettes or $24.99 for 2 CDs, plus $4.50 shipping to the address on your screen.
Join us for the Super Collectors. We do it every day at 1 o'clock. Some of the best hits of Personal FX. It's the Super Collectors every day.
Welcome back to Personal FX. Over 100 years ago today, Swarovski crystal began in Wattens, Austria. And today they are the world's largest manufacturer of hand-cut crystal, producing more than 20 billion, that's right, billion stones for jewelry and also for home decorating. And I'm very pleased to welcome right now Fran Shipman, who is with the Collectors Society and knows almost everything there is to know about the subject.
Very nice to be here.
Good to have you here. Give us a little sense of the history, starting back to 1895 and how it all began.
Well, it's a wonderful story with the Swarovskis. Daniel Swarovski left Bohemia in 1895 with his wife and 3 children and settled in Wattens, which is a little town in the Inn Valley of Tyrol, where he found water power that was so important to the production of his jewelry stones.
And so it's how it all began.
Right.
Okay, just for that.
Right.
Now, but it changed over the years. I understand in World War II, it wasn't anymore just about jewelry. What happened then?
No, the company has evolved in in World War I, they came up with grinding wheels. It was the Tyrolet division. And then in World War II, they went on to the optics division, where Swarovski now produces some of the finest rifle scopes and binoculars.
Because they had to during the war?
Right.
Okay, they weren't given much of a choice.
Right.
You will will do something else for the war effort.
Right.
And then in the 1960s, I read that they got involved in the chandelier industry, and I looked at this and go, wait a minute, this is chandelier parts?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Tell
It's
us
made
about
up
that.
of 4 chandelier parts, the base, the ball here, and the 2 ears. And that was the beginning of the silver crystal line that most of our Swarovski collectors know throughout the world today.
How
And
valuable
that's
is
what they
something like
collect.
this today?
That's very hard to put a price on. Swarovski doesn't get involved in the secondary market, but I'm sure that it would be quite hefty.
Now, Fran, in the 1970s, I mean, when we think of Swarovski crystal, this is a little bit more of what we think about and when the Collector Society began.
True, and we still do the keychains and the commemorative paperweights. Those were kind of a trademark of ours. We got started into the silver crystal and with the Olympics in Innsbruck in 1976, and that was really kind of the start of the whole giftware industry for Swarovski.
And making things like the swan, which is what we think of when we think of Swarovski.
Yes, yes, that is our logo.
And a little bit about the history of the Collector Society. This was made for the society?
Those are the lovebirds, and that was the original annual edition piece that launched the Collector Society in 1987.
And is this the latest piece?
And this is the latest piece. This is the dragon, part of our Fabulous Creatures series. And that's our annual edition for 1997.
So it's really what collectors look for. When they join the society, they receive...
They receive this beautiful gift here. It's the logo of the company. It's a beautiful swan. And each year when you renew, you also receive a beautiful gift. And this year it happens to be the heart.
How interesting. And of course on the piano is the whole assortment. Something for everybody's taste.
Yes, there is.
I want to thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much. It's been a
really nice
pleasure
to have
be
you
here.
These are beautiful pieces. Thank
Thank
you. And now, John, from crystal to mailbag.
Yes, let's get to the mailbag because I have a really interesting letter here. I can't wait to see what you two have to say about this. Ann Philmont from New York wrote in, and Ann says enclosed are photos of a drop front desk that is meant to be hung on a wall. It is made of a light-colored wood and measures 49 inches tall by 41 inches wide. The 4 drawers are carved with a flower and vine pattern. The brass key plate is marked Cortland Desk Company, Limited, Cortland, New York, patented February 8, 1887. Like to know the value and any information.
Furniture expert?
It's Eastlake design, which means it dates about 1880. And unless I can handle it, I am not entirely sure that is complete or it was meant to be wall mounted. It might have had a base, so that I'd need to handle it. But let's go on the assumption that maybe it was a wall hung cabinet, but I sort of tend to think it's not.
You know, I don't know much about anything, but I'm looking at the bottom of that, and that doesn't look like it'd be sitting on top of anything, does it?
Well, you see, when they change things over, they would add things to it. Like, for instance, you're looking at the legs. They would add those things to it. So.
Oh, I see. You're saying
I would have to look at the back to see if it sat on something.
Well, let's assume that it is what it is. What do you think the value is?
$300 to $450.
Yes, 3 to 4.
All right, there you go. Well, I hope we helped out. Now, via the telephone, Paul has joined us from Artesia, New Mexico. Hi, Paul. How you doing?
Fine. How are you?
Doing real good, thanks. What would you like to have appraised today?
What's that?
What would you like to have appraised?
I would like to have it appraised, and I don't have any idea what it's worth.
All right, well, let me read your letter here. Enclosed are photos of a Native American war club. It's been handed down in my family for many years, and I believe it's from South Dakota. It's made of a hard stone attached to a stick wrapped in an animal's skin. So what do you two think of that?
Sounds basic. Sounds like the right place, the Plains Indian and all that kind of stuff. They don't go for a whole lot of money. They are collectible.
Really? They don't go for a lot of money?
No, they really don't.
They're sort of plentiful.
Right.
And they don't go for a whole lot of money.
Can you tell me how old this is?
Everyone had to have 1 or 2 or 3. They were functional tools, just like you would have to have today a knife and fork to eat. That's how plentiful they are. In a collection, it rounds it out. Value-wise, they are under $100.
Yes.
How far under 100?
$50, 75,
50, 75, 80. It depends on how well made.
Paul, do you want to see if anybody wants to buy that, or do you want to keep it?
Sure, I'll take chances on it.
All right, we'll take some bids and we'll let you know. Thank you for being on the telephone.
Thank you.
All right, folks, stay with us because the big bids are coming up soon.
as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart.
Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheats. Good for you? Sure. But you really want the big sweet crunch that brings out the kid in you.
If you are amongst the very young at heart.
Behold, timeless masterpieces of art. And now they're yours to create with new 3D sculpture puzzles. Extraordinary sculpture puzzles you build layer by layer, revealing the shape, the contours, the beauty of a unique new art form. The Eternal Woman and King Tut. Even if you're not an artist, now you can create magnificent sculptures. New 3D sculpture puzzles, a masterpiece in the making.
It was not normal. Not at all normal. Seemingly nice people, even children. With bare hands, ripping those suckers apart.
It's a fun new way to make tacos.
Did you see?
And it all starts here. Grab an old El Paso taco kit, just layer, scoop them, and eat them.
They were excited by it.
Scoop your tacos, because hey, it's a brand new old El Paso.
This is no ordinary toothbrush. This is a Braun Oral-B plaque remover. The Braun Oral-B Ultra. Its ultra-speed oscillating brushing action removes plaque better than a manual toothbrush. That's not our opinion, that's clinical fact. And its unique cup-shaped brush head cleans even below the gum line. Dentists recommend changing your toothbrush every 3 months. We suggest you change it forever with the Braun Oral-B Ultra.
Introducing new Lever 2000 Pure Rain Deodorant Soap. The cool deodorant scent is so invigorating, you can't wait to get close. But new Pure Rain also has moisturizers for skin that feels better and makes you want to stay close. And nothing's more invigorating than that. New Lever 2000 Pure Rain, the refreshing clean for all your 2000 parts.
She likes that, yeah.
She likes it, right? You like it?
Thumbs up.
All the new stuff.
Okay,
good.
Everybody ready for the big bids? We're going to go back out to Duluth, Minnesota, and let Terry know for your beaded banner. Deborah from Los Angeles would like it for $700.
Well, I would consider that.
Okay, considering it.
All right, thank you. Considering it.
Kathleen for your Disney clock and radio. Kathy, all the way from Anchorage, Alaska, has called in with an offer of $150.
Sold.
Bob for the Cameo pin. Kathy from Miami is offering $457.
Sold.
Really sold. Patricia for the Nippon